Hi everyone, it's Courtney. Happy Monday. Hope that you're all doing well. What is going on? Sorry, my internet is going in and out, so hopefully this doesn't go too badly. So I'm Courtney. Like I said, I run this Facebook group and I work with people to help them start eating intuitively and get out of the diet mindset, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. Each week on Monday at 7:30 Central Time, I go live and I talk about something in the intuitive eating world that's really big that I've heard a lot about, or research that has come out that sometimes is misconstrued. I also talk about things that maybe people have asked me about over the last week or so. So just things that I want to address and clear up for people if I'm hearing a lot of the same questions or discussions over and over. So yesterday was the 4th of July in the US, and a lot of times holidays are synonymous with eating a lot of food, maybe eating differently than usual, eating more food than usual, different types of foods, more. And so it's just, hi Rebecca. So it's just, it can be kind of difficult for people with holidays, especially if they are still in that diet mindset and this internet have a lot of food rules, things like that. So I wanted to touch base on that and give some tips for how to view eating over a holiday or a celebration of some sort where you're eating outside of your typical eating routine. Because it's going to happen a lot. Like, there are lots of celebrations and holidays throughout the year, and food is just one way that we celebrate and enjoy ourselves. So, to not have to dread those times and not have to worry about what you're eating or not eating during those times will just make them so much more enjoyable and easy. So one thing that I always like to tell people to consider is just think about it from a positive lens over the weekend. If you're feeling guilty today based on what you ate over the weekend, how did that food taste? Like, did you enjoy it? Was it good? Is it something that you don't eat a lot? Is it something that has sentimental value? A lot of people have something that their grandmas make or their moms make, or something like that, or a recipe that signifies something. Maybe you have it every year for a certain holiday or birthday or something. And what did that mean? Like, was it something that you always look forward to? Is it something that you really enjoy that makes that holiday particularly special? Food, I've seen things that are like, food is, it should only be for if we're hungry and to fuel ourselves. And it's like, no, food serves a lot more purposes than that. Food is a sentimental thing. It provides comfort. It's how we can, show love. It's how we celebrate. It means a lot of things, and it symbolizes a lot of things. And so taking a step back, looking at, what the food that you ate this weekend means for you, if it's traditional or if it's just something that you wanted to try that's new. Like, was it something that you were able to have fun making for the first time or eating for the first time? Like, what are positives associated with that food? Because a lot of times we focus on the negatives around food, and there's a lot of positives too. So how can we kind of change our mindset to focus on the positives? Another thing to focus on is, who did you get to see and visit with while you were enjoying that food? Maybe it's someone who you haven't seen in a long time because of the pandemic, or someone who you just regularly only see, once or twice a year. And were you able to kind of enjoy your time with that person while you were also able to enjoy that food? And did it bring up any memories? Sometimes food can bring up memories, like I said, of a relative making it, or, as a child, maybe you really enjoyed eating this food and now you just enjoyed it again. And it's something that just brought back a lot of memories and made you really happy. I think, when our brains always focus on the negative, it can be really difficult to focus on the positive, but really trying to think of a positive thought around food. If you notice a negative thought, that can help our brains start to focus on the positives more so than always the negatives. And that's how we can kind of retrain our brains to reroute those thoughts and not always focus on the bad things, but also we'll be able to, pick out the good things that happened around different types of foods. Another thing to look at objectively is what happened after you ate the food. Did anything happen? Did you get sick? Did you, I don't know, did anything else bad happen? Did you get hurt after you ate it? Likely not, unless maybe you have an allergy or something like that. But, for most of us, food isn't going to hurt us. And so focusing on that too, what's the worst thing that happens after you eat? Like you said, it was so great to make a cheesecake for my sister's birthday and not be afraid to eat it. But most importantly, it was amazing to be all together with my family. Yeah, exactly, Rebecca. Let's just use cheesecake for an example. Like if you had cheesecake over the weekend and you're feeling guilty for eating it, what happened as a result? Like probably nothing. Maybe you were more full than usual if you ate, a little more than you usually do. But I mean, overall, it sounds like Rebecca, especially you were able to enjoy the time with your family. And that's an important thing to focus on when it comes to, looking at different situations with food. Because I think, also we hear so many things in the media and just from all these places and all this diet culture telling us different messages about what's going to happen if we eat certain foods, like eat this and this will happen, or don't eat that, this will happen. And a lot of times it's just embellished or just blatantly not true. So like I said, really the only time that you should really maybe have a negative outcome is if you were like allergic to a food and you have a reaction or something like that. Most of the time, food is not going to pose like a dangerous threat to us. So something to keep in mind as well, because a lot of times there's a lot of fear around food and that fear isn't necessarily warranted. So something to remember for moving forward. So yeah, I think to recap, if you're feeling guilty or any other negative emotions based on what you ate or didn't eat this weekend, again, thinking about how the food tasted, if you were able to enjoy that, if it brought up any memories, maybe from, being a child or a relative always making that food, who did you get to see while you enjoyed that food, and what happened as a result of eating it? Like, were you safe? Were you okay? Did anything bad happen? And just using those questions to move forward and be able to reflect when you might be noticing yourself having negative or kind of shameful thoughts around eating different foods or just different amounts of foods than you typically do. So it's not the end of the world if you eat outside of your typical eating pattern. Everything works out and everything is okay. And I think these are just really good things to reflect on, to really get our brains to see the positive in these different situations. So I hope that was helpful. And again, if you have any questions, definitely reach out, send me a message, or just post in the group. I always love hearing from you, and I will be live again next Monday. I hope that you all have a great week, and I will see you next week. Bye.